Hey boys, welcome back to some more NRL Supercoach 2021 discussions and previews here. We're going to be going through the front rowers, so if you didn't check out the last video on dummy halves, make sure you have a look at that. But we're going to be going through the big boys here, the men up front, and you know, there's going to be a lot of options, so again, we'll go through just highest to lowest and talk about a few guys. But starting out with Payne Haas, once again starting as the tip of the props. He's actually starting a bit lower than I thought he would be. Before I saw the price, I thought I probably wouldn't be going Payne Haas this year, but he's 660k, 670 basically. I feel like last year he started around like high 700s, if I remember correctly. I mean, he averaged 75 and a half. You know, it's sort of hard to go past him, but I know the Broncos have talked about probably playing him less minutes, which, is that a bad thing? Probably not, because you would expect him to maybe try to do a little bit more while he's out there, maybe a few more offloads, a few more attacking stats. I think Payne Haas is... It's going to be hard not to get him. The next highest, surprisingly, is Pengai Jr. Obviously, he had a very tumultuous year. He's starting expensive. I mean, I love Pengai Jr. And I would tip him. He's definitely going to get a back row spot at the Broncos, which I think is his best position. And I would love to pick him up, but I don't know, just the starting price being so high, his track record, it's a tough one to go. I think there's probably safer options. They're not going to have the upside of a Pengai, but yeah, I think there's safer options that are going to average over the year about the same, and you're not going to have the heartbreak of Pengai getting suspended. So I don't know, he's great to watch, and I love him as a Broncos fan, and I hope he has I just hope he has a big year. I hope he plays most of the year. It would be nice to see. Next up, David Klemmer. He was like leading the pack for a long time there. He's dropped down. He's below 600, which is pretty promising, or pretty like... It's a good price for him, because he averaged near 70. He was solid. And then... I don't know, it's a weird one, because he was so good for most of the year, and then it was sort of it was like the back end of the year, he sort of had less minutes, he wasn't getting through the work rate. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was a plan, or maybe he had a little niggle. I'm not too sure, but yeah, it's a tough one again, because he's if he does what he did at the start of last year, he's an absolute bargain. But yeah, just the end of his season was a little bit worrying. But I think, I don't know, I haven't looked at the pack for the Knights, but I think again he's going to have to play big minutes. They have a strong forward pack, but they have lost a couple of big boys up front. So I think Clemmer's a good pickup. Aiden Tolman, absolutely no chance. Junior Paulo, I had him for the most part of last year, and I mean, he averaged 64, which is good, but yeah, I don't know. He's a guy that gets he'll get 70, 80 one week, and then 40, 50 the next. He's pretty underpriced for what he can do, but I don't know. I still think there's better options. I don't know. The front rowers honestly are so tough. Josh Maguire, 560. There's a lot of guys here around this 500 to 500 to 600 that are very, very good, and all pretty similar. I mean, Maguire, Takiaho. I mean, Maguire's only owned by 1%. He had a pretty good year for the Cowboys. Daniel Saifidi had a good year. Josh Papali, he's pretty underpriced. Yeah, I don't know. Papali had probably one of his best seasons. The last couple of years, Papali has played as good as he ever has, but his work rate has gone down a little bit. He still gets the odd try, so it bumps his points up, but I don't know. He's getting on. I don't really like the Papali pickup this year. I just think I just think I think he's getting used more and more as just that impact player. I think his minutes are not going to, I don't think these minutes are going to go down a lot, but I do think he's not going to play as many minutes as he has in the past. Martin Tapau, Tapau, I pretty much every year I go Tapau. I actually didn't pick up Tapau last year, and he had a good year. I mean, again, Tapau in the past has been that top of the line, but again, his minutes, I actually think, so the last couple of years it's been Tapau and this man here, Addin Fonua-Blake, who have they've sort of cannibalized each other. So one guy will get like 80 and the other guy will get like 50, and then the next week they'll switch. So the fact that Addin Fonua-Blake has gone to the Warriors, I can definitely see myself picking up Fonua-Blake and Tapau. I actually think that both these guys now that they're gone, they're split up, I think they're both going to have very good years. So Tapau and Fonua-Blake, I'm very, very tempted to pick up both of them. I'm honestly so I'll either get both of them, or if I had to choose just one, I'd probably go Fonua-Blake. I think Fonua-Blake is he the best prop in the game? I think Papali's the best prop in the game, but Addin Fonua-Blake at the Warriors, I think the Warriors are going to need him, and they're going to need him to offload. So I think he's going to have a storming year at the Warriors. So yeah, these two guys are very, very, very interesting. Fisher Harris, he dropped off. He was killing it for a good chunk of last year, playing like, at times he played 80 minutes, get like 80 points in base stats, and then yeah, at the end of last year, I think his minutes dropped again. He wasn't quite banging out the numbers, but at 520k, he's still a very, very reliable pickup. Alex Twal, again, he started the year on fire, picked up that injury, so his price is down. I mean, he's got a huge work rate. Then we have Big Tino. So Tino, actually, yeah, he's I thought he was just going to be a second row, but he's second row and front row. So Tino, I'm pretty certain I'm going to have Tino in my team. I'm probably going to have Tino and David Fifita. It just depends if I'm going to have him in the front row or the back row. There's so many options, dude. I'm going to be I'm going to be switching and flopping all throughout the next month or so, trying to work out who's going to be in the starting team. But Tino, I think, is almost a must-have at 500k. Honestly, the more I think about it, like 80% of people have Tino, which is crazy, because I think he's underpriced, but I also don't think Tino is going to be that 70, 80 average like a Payne Haas. So I think he's a great pickup for 500, but I don't know. I don't worry, but I'm also not completely sold on Tino. It'll be interesting to see what happens with their rotation. Like, is he gonna play huge minutes at lock? I mean, he can. He did it in the past for the Storm, but I don't know. It'll be interesting to see for sure. Solomona, he's always been he just doesn't play the minutes. Like, he has the impact, he has the points per minute, but he just doesn't play the minutes to warrant, unfortunately. Then going down, like, you got your usual suspects who average around 50. I mean, Christian Welsh, no, he's always just these guys that average around 50. I wouldn't really go near. Corey Horsburgh, he only played the 6 games. I love Corey. I think if he didn't get injured last year, he would have been in my State of Origin team for sure. He is a rep player in my eyes. He's sensational. It'll be interesting to see if he keeps his second row spot, if he goes back into the front row for the Raiders. But he's a good pickup because he's got the work rate, he's got the offload. He's probably a little bit too expensive because I know last year he started probably mid 300s, I think. So he was a really good pickup last year, but he's just gone up in value to around probably what he is, I guess. Then who else have we got here? I mean, Ueli is sort of like Solomona. He's got that impact, but he probably doesn't play the minutes. Toby Rudolph, again, I mean, he's got the work rate, but I probably wouldn't go near him. Who else? Who else have we got? Liam Knight. So Liam Knight last year, I thought he was an absolute lock. I think he was around this price last year, and I thought he was going to play huge minutes. He's got the impact, he's got that work rate, but he honestly didn't play that many minutes, and I think with Jai Arrow coming to the club now, I think Liam Knight, I think he's still going to be a good player, but I don't really see him scoring too many more than that 40 to 50 average. So not too much doing there. Andrew Fafita, I mean, he's cheap for what he can do, that's for sure. But I mean, he's playing injured. He's playing busted. I mean, everyone's saying that he should retire, so you can't go near him, even though he's very cheap for what he can do. You just can't go near him. Couple of young guys. I mean, Josh Kerr, Tanor Brown could have a standout year. Joe Offengowie at the Tigers. No, he's never really been one of those guys. Ben Murdoch-Masila. Okay, so he's definitely in my team. Ben Murdoch-Masila, he's similar to Fanor Blake, he's similar to Andrew Fafita. Obviously, he's been playing in the Super League, so you know, things are going to be tougher over here for sure, but he is a very, very good player. I remember him back in the day at the Tigers. He was some monster, and then he's done extremely well over in the Super League. The Warriors have picked him up. I would imagine he's going to get that back row spot at the Warriors. I would assume, and then he's an automatic. He is an automatic Murdoch-Masila. Yeah, Murdoch-Masila. I actually didn't realize he was so cheap, 330k. So yeah, I mean, I guess I don't really know how his stats were in the Super League, but I think he's got that game to average really well in the back row at NRL level. He's got that try scoring, he's got the offloading. He's a good one. He's a good one for sure. Matt Lodge. Obviously he didn't play much of the year last year. Even the games he did play, he looked injured. So he's starting very cheap. I think he could be a good pickup. Jack Hetherington also. I mean, this guy is a monster as well. And you would expect, going to the Bulldogs, he would play big minutes. Like, you would expect Hetherington to really, try to own a starting spot there. So I think Hetherington, out of these two, I'd probably go Hetherington. I think he's got the upside. He's quick for a big man. He's got good footwork. So Hetherington, he's almost a lock in for me. I think he's a very good pickup. And then anyone else that tickles my fancy here? Daniel Alvaro has gone to the Dragons. I remember back in the day, Alvaro used to be a guy averaging around 60 to 70 at the Eels, but he I don't know, he just fell off a cliff. They just didn't give him the game time. So, I mean, going to a new club, Alvaro could be a sneaky little pickup. He probably won't get a starting front row spot though, so he's probably a no-go, but he's a good player. Honestly, Alvaro is a good player. I don't really know what happened to him. Then, Ryan James, 236. He's, unfortunately his Titans career he couldn't play any more games. Just the injuries. He was my must-have last year. Got another knee injury, couldn't play the rest of the year, or didn't play any of the year. He's gone to the Raiders, and I don't know, always like a change of scenery, a change of fortune, hopefully, for Ryan James. It'll be interesting to see where he plays, though. I mean, he's such a good value, but I don't know, is he going to get a starting spot? I haven't actually looked at their, forward pack. It's strong, but I mean, Ryan James is a very good player, so I think he could, he's probably a good player to just have on your bench and just see how it goes. Like, he could play really well, getting himself into a starting spot, but I don't see him getting back to what he was, but I think he could definitely get up to 400k. He could average around 40, 50 for sure. And then, who else have we got? I mean, Leniu, good young player, probably not going to get too many minutes. Bullymore, very, very good young player, but again, probably not going to get too much game time. And then any other cheapies? Any other cheapies down here that's... Stefano, he could be a sneaky pickup because he signed... Where did he... Was he at the Eels, I think, Stefano? The Tigers signed a few big young forwards. I don't know... He could be another good like bench player. I think he's got the impact. It's just just depends how many minutes he's gonna get. And then nothing too much else. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So there's quite a few guys I'm very keen on. I'm honestly very keen on Hetherington, Lodge, Lesso, and Murdoch Masilla, and then Fanua Blake and Tapau. They're sort of my 4 that I'm very keen on. And then Payne Haas, probably, or David Klemmer. We'll see how we can swing it. I don't know. It's interesting though. There's a lot of like good cheaper forwards in the front row spot this year. So I think you could go a little bit cheaper for sure and have a good start. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if there's any other guys that you saw there that you're keen on. But yeah, make sure to like and comment. Up next will be the second row, so some more tough decisions. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.